Good morning. Welcome to the Department of Family and Support Services, Children's Services Community Needs Assessment RFP webinar. The release date was May 9th, 2025, and the due date for all applications is June 6th, 2025. Just a few housekeeping rules. Due to the volume of participants, everyone has been placed on mute. Please submit questions box. Please submit questions via the questions box, and we'll respond to questions at the midpoint and end of the presentation. Please use the questions box to notify us of any technical issues. This webinar is being recorded. Anything stated at this webinar is not intended to change the solicitation document. Any changes will be in writing in the form of an addendum issued by the Department of Family and Support Services. The purpose of this webinar is to provide information for the solicitation. A copy of the recording will be posted on a DFSS YouTube channel with the link of the recording at cityofchicago.gov under the alerts and or funding opportunities tabs. Please give this up to 5 business days to upload. DFSS retains the right to share a list of registrants to this webinar along with their contact and organizational information at our discretion. At this time, I'm going to introduce our representative from Children's Services.
Hi, my name is Angel Jones-Dotson. I am the manager of program admin. On the screen before you, you will see the agenda, the welcome and introductions, the purpose, background, information about the scope, programming description, selection criteria, the timeline, technical assistance for application and e-procurement, and then questions.
Thank you, Angel. At this time, I'm going to hand it over to Children's Services to discuss the purpose of the RFP.
So the purpose of this RFP is to seek an entity that will provide subject matter expertise, training, and technical assistance to DFSS and its Chicago Early Learning direct service providers and subjects related to community needs assessment. The background of Chicago is primary social service funder and administrator. The Department of Family and Support Services manages a comprehensive client-oriented human service delivery system that employs a holistic approach to improving the quality of life of most vulnerable residents. DFSS priorities are delivering and support high-quality innovation comprehensive services. We collaborate with community partners, sister agencies, and public officials on programs and policies. We inform the public of resources available to them and their community, and we steward DFSS's resources responsibly and effectively. The goal, CSD will understand child and family demographics, early childhood education programs, supply and demand, and the child and family health and well-being needs and challenges across the city of Chicago. CSD will maintain a community needs assessment related website that provides its direct service delegates agencies with timely and accurate data related to child and family demographics, early childhood education program supply and demand, and the child family health and well-being needs and challenges across the city of Chicago. CSD will stay abreast of community programmatic and policy trends that may affect supply and demand for CEL programs, eligibility, and enrollment of CSL programs, the health and mental health and social service needs of children and families eligible and or enrolled in our CEL programs. Current state and priorities for improvement. Under this request for proposal, DFS is seeking to support service delegate agencies that can help DFSS CSD achieve the following priorities: better understand and document the needs of young children and their families in the city of Chicago, and better align current and future early learning programs and services to the needs of young children and families in the city of Chicago. Our target population. To ensure that programs are responsive to the educational health, nutrition, mental health, childcare, and social service needs of the community that they serve. DFSS and each of its Head Start funded CEL direct service delegate agencies must conduct a comprehensive communities assessment once every 5 years and update it annually. The current need assessment plays an important role in multiple aspects of Head Start, such as allocating slots or seats across the areas with the most need, creating enrollment selection criteria and recruitment plans, determining the program models, options, and duration that will meet the needs of families, setting program goals and objectives for program quality improvement, and creating a community partnership that will meet the social service needs of the children and families in the community. Program requirements. Successful respondents must demonstrate organizational expertise in data collection, analysis, and predictive analytics, identify a credentialed subject matter expert and program manager to oversee activities, demonstrate staff capability to provide analysis and written support, demonstrate capacity to obtain, store, share, and use data. Successful respondents will need to show they can handle the required activities. Annual community needs assessment data, data indicators table A through C, annual community needs tool update, annual training, and quinquennial community needs assessment and report. Performance goals and outcomes. Performance. Comprehensive of the community needs data and analysts present in the quinquennial report and annually updated. User feedback on user friendliness of community assessment website. Pre and post training satisfaction surveys. Performance outcomes. Annual data indicator tables fully completed. Community needs assessment tools updated. Number of trainings provided. Number of quinquennial community assessment sub-activities completed. Number of specific reports projects completed. Selection criteria, community involvement. DFSS will evaluate applicants based on the following criteria. This, the respondent demonstrates a clear understanding of the target population, including their strengths, assets, and needs and challenges. The respondent demonstrates client and community engagement activities that inform service delivery. The respondent has expertise working in the target population and has relevant capabilities, and or infrastructure needed to serve this group. The respondent demonstrates they are working to become more in tune with the client that they serve. Selection criteria, organizational capacity. DFSS will evaluate applicants based on the following criteria. This respondent has qualified staff responsible for program oversight and management to ensure individuals have the expertise to lead the work, meet deadlines, and ensure that data and data analysis is of high quality. If your agency subcontracts to fulfill any of these capabilities, please describe that instead. Selection criteria, strength of proposed programs. DFSS will evaluate the applications based on the following criteria. The respondent clearly defines services to be provided directly or through partnerships that are appropriate to addressing the needs of and achieving desired outcomes for the target population. The respondent's proposal program is supported by strong national or local evidence base and or aligns with best practices for the relevant field. The respondent has an effective approach to identify and retaining program participants. The respondent has partnerships or coordinates with other agencies to expand or improve services in a client-centered, comprehensive way. The respondent clearly states their approach to attaining clientele, and the respondent provides specific partnerships in detail and the method of how the information was captured. Selection criteria, performance management outcomes. DFSS will evaluate applications based on the following criteria. The respondent demonstrates evidence of a strong past performance against desired outcome goals and performance metrics and or other notable accomplishments in providing services to the target population. The respondent has experience using data to inform and improve its services or practices. The respondent has the relevant systems and processes needed to collect and store key participation and performance data. Selection criteria. DFSS will evaluate applicants based on the following criteria. The respondent has the physical capacity to implement the proposed program. The respondent leverages other funds and in-kind contributions to support total program and administrative costs. The respondent demonstrates reasonable implementation costs and funding requests relevant to its financial and human resources. The proposed budget supports the proposed scope of work or work plan. Selection criteria attachments. Please make sure to include your liability insurance, board member identification, certification of good standing, bylaws and articles of incorporation, resumes and credentials for key staff, organizational chart, proof of past projects that include the assessment analysis or evaluation of community needs, child and family health and well-being, your organization's budget and financial statement for this program. Please make sure all program requirements are addressed. Evaluation process. Evaluated on the strengths of the proposal and the responsiveness to the selection criteria. Failure to submit a completed proposal or respond fully to all requirements may make your submission subject to rejection. The commissioner, upon review of recommended agencies, may reject, deny, recommend agencies that have applied for grants based on previous performance and or area needed. DFSS reserves the right to ensure that all mandated services are available citywide and provided in a linguistically and culturally appropriate manner. Selection and transition timeline. Proposal webinar, which is what you're on today, 5/16 at 10 o'clock. The due date for the pre-proposal questions are 5/25/25 at 5 p.m. Applications are due 6/6/25 at noon. Program period begins July 1st, 2025. budgets or cost proposals. Term of contracts executed under this RFP will be from July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2028, based on need, availability of funds, and contractor performance. DFSS may extend this term for up to 2 additional years, with each extension not exceeding more than 1 year. The contract amount of this RFP is $2,700. The state and administrative cap for the program and how it works with indirect rates. Attach your indirect letter. Head Start requires non-federal share, 33%. Please submit a budget for 1 year, 12 months of service. Cost category definitions are attached as budget instructions in every RFP. Be thoughtful and inclusive when developing your budget. Apply for your program's actual costs. We generally cannot give you more money than what you ask. Use the reasonable cost questions on the application to determine how you determine the cost reflected in your budget. Common mistakes we see on budgets are fringes, them not being calculated correctly, supplies, you're frequently over or under budgeted, client assistance. If this is an appropriate or allowable cost, don't forget to include it. Put on your budget in the appropriate columns. Show your match. Again, applications are due June 6, 2025 at noon.
At this time, before we begin to go into application tips, I do see we have 2 questions that we're gonna address. The first question is, will the selected vendor have back-end access to update the community needs assessment tool website, or will updates be coordinated through DFSS?
So the Deputy Commissioner is asking for all questions to be answered through the question and answer period so it can be posted all together.
Okay. And then the second question is, does the RFP have an MBE or WBE goal?
I will still have to do the same with all questions.
Okay. These questions will be addressed in the addendum that will be published. So the question deadline is May 21st. So you have up to May 21st to submit all questions. All questions received regarding this RFP will be published in the format of an amendment. At this time, we're gonna go to application tips. And our first most important tip is to start your application early and save it as often as possible while you're working on it. If you have never done business with the city of Chicago, please register into iSupplier, also known as e-procurement, as soon as possible. Please review your RFP narratives and application questions closely. Remember that they align with the scope and selection criteria. Use this information in the RFP for guidance in formulating your answers. There is a 4,000 character limit, which includes punctuation and spaces. Each response is allotted 4,000 characters. Please, whatever you do, please do not use the back button on your browser while you're working on your application. You could potentially lose anything you've been working on. Additional tips for working in e-procurement: to submit multiple applications for a single RFP, applicants will need to set up a unique user account in iSupplier. The e-procurement system is not capable of submitting more than one distinct proposal per associated email address. Therefore, you must use a separate email address for each submission. You can submit your application and later amend it up until the due date of June 6th at 12 noon. Avoid the rush and possible mishaps by submitting early, and plan on submission taking approximately 30 to 60 minutes. Please be advised that late applications cannot be accepted. For technical assistance, please make use of the e-procurement hotline for help at 312-744-4357. The hotline can also be reached via email at customersupport@cityofchicago.org. As far as the procurement hotline, the hotline operates during business hours only, which is Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Again, save while you're working on your application. Save it as often as possible and submit as early as you can. New agency requirements. Agencies must provide articles of incorporation and any amended articles of incorporation. They must also provide an IRS affirmation letter, and this is just for not-for-profit agencies. This letter must be dated within 60 days of submission. You can obtain this letter by calling the IRS directly at 1-877-829-5500. If you are a for-profit agency, submit your original letter from the IRS showing your FEIN number. A UEI number is required, as well as a central contractor registration, which can be obtained from the entity overview page on the sam.gov website. And we also require a certificate of good standing letter with the state of Illinois. As of April of 2024, we have a new labor peace agreement ordinance, which will apply to all DFSS and CDPH delegates that have 20 or more employees working for their organization. The only exemptions are hospitals. This ordinance applies to all contracts that are entered into after April 2024, and the contractor must provide written notice to the commissioner or her designee within 72 hours of becoming aware that employees want to organize or that union seeks to represent employees. Contractor must enter into the LPA within 90 days of receiving notice from a labor organization that it seeks or seeks to represent employees. You may ask, what is an LPA? A labor peace agreement is an agreement between an employer and a labor union that ensures that an organizing drive is not impacted by union busting techniques, including employee retaliation, and in return, they will not strike or stop work in a way that will impact human services. For technical assistance, on the DFSS webpage, there is a link to the RFP of interest and training documents under the alert section on the website. For questions or registration and e-procurement technical assistance for delegate agencies, please contact customer support at cityofchicago.org. And you can also reach out to the hotline. Again, the number is 312-744-4357. We also have training materials, which includes documents and videos on the cityofchicago.org website under iSupplier online training materials. At this time, we're going to delve into how to enter your responses and accepting the amendments. In this case, this RFP will have an amendment since we've already been receiving questions. So step one in how to enter your response, you select create quote from the drop-down menu in the actions box and then click go, which will take you to the application page where you can get started. If the RFP you are interested in has been amended, and in this case it will be, you will need to acknowledge and accept the amendment to start and submit a response. And to accept the amendment, click on View Amendment History. Step two, To begin the acceptance and acknowledgement process, follow these steps after clicking View Amendment History. First, you click on the document number. Next, click on the Affinity or eyeglass icon to review the amended changes to the RFP. Click on the Acknowledge Amendments button to acknowledge receipt and understanding of these changes and then proceed. And by acknowledging the amendment, you are indicating that you are aware of the changes made to the RFP in the amendment. Step 3. When you get to this screen, click on the I accept checkbox and then click on Acknowledge. Next, you click on Yes to indicate that you confirm your acknowledgement of the amendment. Step 4 in how to accept the amendment, you click on the checkbox that you accept the terms and conditions, and then click Accept to accept them. And that is the final step in acknowledging and accepting your amendment. Once you accepted the amendment and acknowledged it, you can move forward with submitting your application. So this first step in submitting your application, when you are ready to submit, which means that you've attached all required documents, that you answered every required question, you start by saving your draft one last time and then clicking continue. If you click continue and you receive this red error message at the top of the page, it basically means that you're either missing something or something has gone wrong. So in this case, the error message indicates that the line found under the Lines tab had not been completed. In this example here, the error is about an unanswered question in the application or the requirement section. The quote value refers to your answer or missing thereof. Once you've completed the missing question or resolved the issue that created the error message, you are ready to proceed and submit. And at this point, clicking continue should put your application into the review and submit phase. When you get to this screen, which is like the summary page, this is your last chance to review all of your data to confirm that it's accurate. Check your attachments, check your responses, your requirements, anything they ask for you to attach and include. You can view all of that from this page, and you can scroll to the bottom of the screen to see all of your responses. And when you get to the bottom of the screen, you will be asked to provide an electronic signature. Please be sure to fill in the signature before checking the box. Then you can hit submit to submit your application. Once you submit your application, you will receive a submittal confirmation screen. The e-procurement system will send a confirmation email within 24 hours of your submission. You can call me or email me if you desire confirmation prior to then. My name is Jillian Black. My email is jillian.black@cityofchicago.org. At this time, I'm going to open up for more questions. But if you don't have any additional questions, the question deadline is May 21st. So you can send those questions to the RFP captain, which is Angel Jones Dotson. Her email is angel.jones-dotson@cityofchicago.org. I would suggest sending the questions via email so that we can include all questions within the amendment. And if you have any questions regarding technical issues that you may be experiencing with iSupplier, you can reach out to e-procurement hotline Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Again, their number is 312-744-4357. And they also can be reached at customer support at cityofchicago.org. And you can also reach out to me. My name is Jillian Black. Again, my email is jillian.black@cityofchicago.org, as listed on the screen. But the e-procurement hotline and customer support are better equipped to answer most of your questions. So I would start with customer support, reaching out to customer support, or via email or the e-procurement hotline. With that being said, Angel, do you have anything to add before we close out?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for attending our webinar for the community needs assessment RFP. Again, questions can be sent up until May 21st at 5 p.m. Send them to Angel Jones Dotson. Her information is listed here on the screen. And at this time, we're going to end the webinar. Good luck on all of your responses. And thank you for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.